Good morning and welcome back to my channel, The Hidden Lynx. I am your host, Lynx, and today we're going to be doing a pick-a-card all about your glow-up. We're going to predict what your glow-up is going to be, and then more importantly, what you have to do to ensure that you're going to get there. I also picked 3 tarot, like oracle cards from the Native American totem, who's going to be your guides through this journey. So I don't know about you guys, but lately a lot of good things have been happening, but very fast, so that way it's kind of almost like you can't catch your breath and it is very hard to process. I don't know if that's been a similar energy for you guys, but this is kind of like what I'm gauging and viewing and intuitively taking note of in my daily life. So yeah, I just feel like there's been a lot of good things happening and a lot of good things that have been happening but difficult to process at the same time. That's been giving us a little bit of anxiety perhaps, just because we're trying to get into the groove of the routine, even though it's a fairly new routine. I feel like we are stuck on we're just processing. It's like almost like, how do I want to word that? Things aren't being spoon-fed to us. So it's not like things are being spoon-fed to us. It's like somebody's throwing the whole kitchen sink at us. And I don't know why I'm getting like tongue-tied and like hard to communicate, but yeah, it's like somebody is throwing the whole kitchen sink at us. And it's good things. It's almost like if you're winning, you won the lottery, right? But somebody has a heart attack because they're like, oh my God, like it actually happened. Something you never thought was going to happen, like actually happens. And I think that is the vibe of autumn right now, where we were flailing around in the summer, sometimes stagnant and wondering if something was going to work out for us. And now that it finally did around the tail end of August, heading into September, now it's like, oh my gosh, like I gotta make sure that I handle this lottery money correctly so I don't go bankrupt or blow it all, you know, because that's the saying, or seems to be the theme, is that the people that acquire money, it is easy to acquire the money, it is harder to make that money more money and sustain it and let it grow, right? Not a lot of people know how to be smart with their money or have good money management or money smarts, financial smarts. So that's just like a metaphor for what is going on right now, is that we have received the gift and now we're figuring out how to best use that gift, whatever that gift may be. Maybe we got a new job and it came in really fast, and now we're just quickly getting into the ropes of things, and we're very thankful that it's good money, but we're still new to it and we're still learning, and it's, you know, anxious and it's anxiety ridden because we're getting into a new routine, right? And other things are coming in at the same time, other good gifts. So it's almost like getting whacked in the face with pixie dust or something, you know, fairy dust, like just, and then we're like, like when the cloud of kind of settles, we're like, okay, where's the goal? Let's keep going on that path. Let's keep moving. I thank you and I'm grateful, but let's keep going. So that hopefully is resonating with my audience right now. But I like to think that whatever I'm talking about or whatever tends to come up while I'm speaking on video has some sort of purpose. I think that everything does happen for a reason, and if this is meant to reach somebody, it'll reach the person it's meant to. So anyway, I do have 3 piles. I have the elk, and these were pre-shuffled just to save time, but I haven't looked at anything. So we have the elk, number 3, and I have a whole thing I should show you. This is my centerpiece, by the way. I have a whole plethora of little things that I just couldn't bear to part with on any of my journeys of walking around or doing anything of that sort, hiking, stones here and there that I've acquired. So this one is parted with the, I want you to see how blue it is. It's got this blue hue to it. I think it's a fluorite, to be honest with you. It's a raw one, and it's been a while since I've like actually shown it. But yeah, I wanted to show that. So that's going with the elk, and it's also going with my deck. This is the deck that I actually usually use for myself. This was gifted to me by my great aunt Dorothy when she passed away. So that one is very special for me. They're all special, but that one always holds a big significance because it was the only one that was actually like truly gifted to me. So then we have pile 2, and this is Prairie Dog. Pile 2. And I think this is some form of adventuring, I want to say, but I could be wrong. Like I said, it's been a long time since I've looked at it. It's definitely not malachite. It'd be a lot more, it would be a deeper green than that. So this is a little bit more blue to that. And then obviously I have the Paulina tarot deck for that one. And then my third pile, this is hematite. This is the hematite. And our spirit guide or animal guide for this one was the badger. And then we have the Wild Unknown original, probably one of the, it is the first edition of the Wild Unknown. So, with that ado, I am going to start with the elk pile, pile number 1. If I can get these out of the way for a second. And I gotta grab my book as well for those, for the elk. I'll read the elk last. I just wanted to see the overview. Okay, so at 7:45 we are doing pile 1. This is just for me to look at. So this is crossed. This is your how. We'll work on that later. What you need to do, I mean, and then this is our how are we glowing up. So we're gonna look. Is in our future. For pile 1. So obviously what your glow up is going to be kind of more regards to your physical form. So we're going to be thinking of weight loss. When I think of the physical, I think of we are really working on our sexuality because we have our wands here. And this is like a fast movement thing, so I think it's going to be happening fairly soon. We're also moving away from something, probably bad habits, things that we no longer find are serving us, and we're going to better horizons, right? Because the Six of Swords is also about moving towards something better across seas, or maybe we're going to be taking like a trip to a spa. Maybe we're going to be taking a trip and, going to one of these like famous resorts where we meditate or we do something. So there might be something like fancy going on. Something like fancy to you. Like, I'm not saying that you're going to be taking a trip to Mexico and like going on a spiritual quest over there and drinking just green juice. Like, it could be, but I don't think so. I would say like it's more or less like what is fancy to you. Like, if you have to go, like, fancy to you might be go get a massage because I've never gotten a massage, or I rarely get to go and get a massage. Like, I see you actually taking time to maybe making that a monthly thing as opposed to maybe a once a year thing. I find that we're going to be thinking about how do we maximize our fertility. So maybe somebody around here is working on maximizing themselves to have either a child or just to be in a good shape, like especially during menopause. I don't know why that came through, but that's what I got. Like the ultimate femininity, right? Like we're going to be completely feeling ourselves. We are going to be enjoying those masks in our hair and on our face. We're going to be doing our everything bubble baths and showers and really like seeing the results, right? Like we're just putting in that effort. But it's also going to be through the drive of that, though. So even though I'm talking about the physical here, you know, we're talking about the outward appearance, right? What is that driving force, though? What is making you feel like you even need to do that and actually be consistent with it and stick to it, as opposed to this as being a fleeting moment? It's because you're focusing on your health, pile one, right? So this is purely driven not just to look good, but we also want to feel good and make sure that we're actually doing this for the right reasons, which isn't for validation from other people, but for our health. And to find the balance, right? We're going to find the balance between I want to look good, but I also want to maybe conquer my mind as well. You know, that might be funny. Might be even seeing like a therapist, but I'm really hesitant on therapists because it's very hard to find the right one. But I would say like mental health definitely is calling through this. And I don't know if it's in the form of therapy, but in the sense of maybe meditation therapy, maybe EMDR, that's something that is coming through. But we almost want to conquer our minds and how we view ourselves and what we think about ourselves in order to maximize and get that result. So I think like part of like how you are growing up, grow up. So how we are glowing up for pile one is we've made the decision. We've made the decision to really nurture and put ourselves first, right? So we've made that choice and we're moving forward really quickly. Like it's just a very impulsive thing. It might have been a very quick dial-up moment where you're like that aha moment, or like what I was talking about prior, where it's like all of a sudden that scale just dropped. Like maybe you just broke your plateau for your weight, right? Like we made a decision to go and do it, but all of a sudden it just like went boom. Whatever you're doing is working, and now you're like really feeling yourself, right? And that is how you're going to be glowing up. How you are going to be glowing up is definitely more of like the physical form, and that's kind of very straightforward, and I hate to be so straightforward with that, but it's true. You're doing it for a health specific reason. That is your prime drive, because you either have a health ailment or something that is going on or something that you want to accomplish, and so in conjunction to that, you are looking beautiful. Like I think of the Empress and I'm just like, she's just beautiful. Like she literally upgraded her whole life in that physical form, and she's achieved it with great results. Like she didn't even look back. She's moving towards something different, right? Like totally moving from that old self to something new. And I know that we kind of want to knock the physical, like, and think that, I mean, let's just be honest. Everybody wants to look good, right? Everybody wants to inadvertently look like you're not the age that you profess to be, that you actually look younger, right? Or like we all want to be able to fit in the size that we fit into in like, I don't know, high school. And people might disagree with me on that or get mad at me on that, but that's just an example. There is a certain ideal that we have about our bodies that we want to have for ourselves. So ultimately, we have this goal in mind of how we view ourselves, and sometimes when we stray from that and we're not feeling or looking our best, it's not damaging to say, I want to go back to what I already know that I can achieve and was achieving before I got derailed. So, this could even be like postpartum as well. Like, we are now glowing and getting out of that postpartum phase, and we are looking beautiful, absolutely stunning. We got ourselves out of the woods, right? So that's another example that just came up. So now I'm going to think of what we need to do then to get there and to keep on this path. Like, what do we need to do to stay on track? I'm going to move these up so I can have them for reference. Because yes, this is in your future. We are definitely like glowing up. It's already been happening. Like, that's with the wands. That's the way I'm interpreting them. But it's like fast moving now, and people are starting to notice, and people are going to be really shocked at the final results of this. So let's see. Okay, so what do you need to do in order to get there? In order to get to this moment where we are healthy, we are fertile, we are happy, we are fitting into that size, whatever dress that you've been hoping for. We finally feel like we are ourselves again, right? So, affirmations state what you want. Communicate. Tell your family members, hey, this is what I'm doing. You need to carve out some time for me in order to let me get this done. That means that I am not going to be bugged at 5 o'clock in the morning about making so-and-so their breakfast. I'm going to be waking up at 4:30 this morning, and I'm going to be going into the cold plunge, and I will be getting out at 5. So don't bother me during that time, right? That's an example that came to mind. You're communicating with your partner, windows of opportunity within your busy daily schedule. I need this time. You take the kid. I need this time to do my thing, okay? So I can look snatched, okay? Or go, I'm going to take my walk today, okay? Or, hey, just letting you know, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, I'm going to go and take the Pilates class. You're going to figure it out, right? So that's what this is coming up with for me. And then just feeling fresh and starting out on a brand new adventure and feeling good about that. So that's another thing that you'll need to do is like actually start planning. So not just communicate what you want, but before you even do that, you need to lay out a game plan. I want you to like write down, this is also writing, so communication, any form of that. But you need to organize and see what is feasible in your schedule, in your busy daily life. Find the time. Find the time to do it because it's your health that is important, right? Without health, you don't have anything. So whatever is really bothering you about your health or about how you view yourself, you need to write it down, make the game plan, and then communicate to your whoever is around you that is inhibiting. It's not even inhibiting. It's just busy daily life, right? Like maybe it's your job that's in the way, not necessarily the family, right? And you might not have to communicate specifically to somebody else, but maybe you might have to communicate with your job, like, I'm sorry, but I'm not answering emails on Friday or Sunday and Saturday and Sunday. I will get to you on Monday. Maybe setting those boundaries. Like, you need to carve out your time to make room. You set the boundaries, those time frames, and you need to write it down and know what's plausible. I'm not saying you need to be doing something that you know is going to make your job mad, right? We're not doing that. Or we're not going to be completely neglecting the other duties that we have in the home. We're going to assess and evaluate what time frames actually could work for you, right, for pile one. So for pile one, they would need to sit down and go, okay, maybe instead of watching Netflix 30 minutes before bed, I'm going to do a meditation before bed. I'm going to do an affirmation before bed. Okay? So that's where that's what I'm getting for intuitively through that. And then this is like, we're going to be letting go of beating ourselves up for any past mistakes or any sort of drama or any sort of mental anguish that we have in regards to our health or in regards to getting better and wanting better for ourselves. It's funny because before up there I said we needed to, maybe you're going to need to be working on the mind and fixing how you view yourself and your perception. And I think that this is what's coming through with that. That is what I feel. I feel like there was something that was really upsetting you, maybe some sort of drama that happened, maybe some test results that didn't go the way that you had hoped, or you maybe thought that things were futile, right? Like things weren't going the way that you had initially planned, and things are just, I think in the summer people felt they didn't know whether they were going to get out of the woods or not with whatever it was that they were dealing with. I feel very strongly for pile one that is the same precipice. It's the same feeling of maybe like being almost in the postpartum blues, where you have the postpartum depression or the postpartum OCD. Maybe, like just feeling really bad about yourself in a very unrealistic manner, where your psyche feels a little broken or your identity feels a little cracked, right? Where you feel like you don't even know who you are anymore. And you miss your old self. And, you can miss your old self, right? You can. It's not bad to like grieve that process of who you once were, right? But it doesn't mean that as we get older, we have to necessarily get worse and worse and worse, and we can never actually look better than what we did in our 20s, or there's no law that says that you have to just slowly decline and get crippled and just feel crippled and old and well, I have to go and take this pill now for the rest of my life, and that's just it now, put me in the dirt, it's done with. I'm only going to get uglier from here, or I'm never going to get this weight off. It's just going to keep piling on, and I'm just going to be, No one says that has to be your future. No one says that. You can literally decide to tame your fears, honor them. I'm not saying not to honor them, but tame your fears, and then let go. Make peace. And then we focus on a new phase. A new phase of our health, of our physicality, because we're talking about glow up. I'm going to, even of our material things, okay? That's possible, but we need to have a little bit of hope here. We need to have that vitality, that masculine can-go attitude. It is time to get our booty in gear. It is time. We need to get that little pep talk going, right? We can be better than who we even imagine ourselves to be. So remember in the beginning, for pile one, when I said we always have this image of how we are supposed to look. We always have maybe that ideal size, whatever that size may be, of how we view ourselves, and when we trail off it, we feel nasty and bad about ourselves. What if you work and plan and carve out so much time that it starts to show results, and you actually become even more beautiful, healthy, happy, rich, successful, much like the Empress, than you even imagined, because you just decided to go and make it happen. You could actually be better and healthier than you were in your, what you gauged as your healthiest point or the prettiest point in your life. You could actually look younger than what you initially thought was possible. So we're going to look at the elk and see what he has to say in guidance to this stuff. I love this book. It really helps me hone in. So elk is stamina. And let me see if I can get to this main part. Elk medicine teaches that pacing yourself will increase your stamina. Elk medicine people may not be the first ones to arrive at a goal, but they always arrive without getting burned out. If you have taken on too much recently, it might be a good idea to look at how you plan to finish what you have started without ending up in the hospital. Okay. Let's see here. Elk could also be telling you to look at how you are holding up physically to the stresses in your life and how to pace yourself so that you maintain an equilibrium of energy over the distance you plan to cover. Vitamins or high energy foods may be one solution, along with some personal quiet time for replenishment. Like that? Like that, maybe? I didn't even read this yet. Like I said, I never looked at the cards. I don't know, nothing. So, I think that that's pretty dead knots. Okay? Let me see what else we got here. You may need a support group to realign yourself with the stamina of the warrioress energy that you are a part of. This communication with others of your own sex allows you to air out your feelings in safety to get feedback from others who have had the same experiences. You may need a new sense of communication and unity. Ooh, remember when I said, like, you know, we were gonna, I love how we say we and our. I love doing that with you guys. I don't know why. It just helps me get the message out easier. But pile one, I said that, you know, maybe we would go to like spas or Pilates class, same group activities, places like meditation, even maybe some therapy or EMDR where we can air out all of these grievances safely. Yes, yes. I love it. Let's see if I can find anything else through here, because it usually likes to give me like a synopsis between like elk and mountain lion, and that's not really helpful for what we're going through here. So elk can call on the medicine of brotherhood or sisterhood. In discovering the strength which is gained from loving the gender that is your own, you will feel comradeship that arises from similarity of experience. Yeah, I think that that's excellent. Yes. So, pile one, that was your spread. I hope it was insightful, and I'm very curious to see how your glow up unfolds, and I hope that it was helpful, that I gave you a little pep talk, because you needed it. You definitely needed it. Definitely feel safe. Get some more friend groups. Don't worry too much. Have faith. Okay. So I just did pile 1, pile 3. No, haha, not 3. It's because the elk had the 3 in it, and that was for pile 1. Anyway, pile 2 with the Paulina tarot cards and the prairie dog and this gem right here. I'm gonna put them back in here. My little thing. I will read that at the end because the elk one was like on point. It was on point. I loved it. Okay, so this one on the X is what you need to do in order to get there, and then this is how we are glowing up. This one I'm going to keep. I usually don't do things in reverse, but I'm going to keep this one in reverse because it will remind me how I want to tell it, and it did come in reverse, but we have the 5 of Cups. Justice. I'm going to put these down here so maybe you can see it. I'm getting better at the camera. I'm really proud of myself how I handled that. 5 of Cups and 5 of Pentacles. Chariot. 9 of Pentacles. Got to move them up, sorry. Okay, I kind of understand now. Everything else is pretty much, I'm gonna do this to the side. Sorry, I'm working on things, okay? This is how things are done. Queen of Pentacles and 3 of Pentacles. Alright, in your future, how is your glow up going to look like? What is your glow up going to look like? Well, for starters, first thing that comes up to mind, and I guess I got to get that one out of the way before I talk about the grander things. It's interesting how things just immediately pop up, but I think they're too small or minute to really talk about, so I wanted to hold that one back until something else came through. But anyway, you're going to be getting a new group of friends. Your glow up is the new friends that you surround yourself with, interestingly enough. You are going to be elevating financially with the Queen of Pentacles. And the 4 of Wands will indicate that stability. Like you are going to have, you're going to not feel like you're in survival mode anymore. Like I look at these and I think with the 5 of Cups and the 5 of Pentacles, our glow up for pile 2 is going to be the fact that you are no longer going to be feeling a lack, right? Feeling loss, or feeling like the next shoe could drop at any moment, where it's like, okay, we have a job or we have a home, and all of a sudden it just like doesn't work for it. Like all of a sudden the other shoe drops and we don't have a job anymore, or this one gets cut off, or we have to move locations real quick, or you know, we get finances going really well and then our car breaks down. The glow up is you're not going to have that anymore. That's the glow up. The glow up is that with this Justice card, karma is coming back around and in your favor because it's upright. That all of the work that you have done prior is basically coming to reward you, you know, reaping what you sow. And I know people say that in a negative context, but I'm saying this in a positive context. Like, you are reaping what you have sown with that, and it's going to be solidified with the 4 of Wands with a great foundation. And with the Queen of Pentacles, it means, and with the Knight of Pentacles and the Queen of Pentacles, it's signaling to me that pile 2 doesn't have to worry about anything anymore in regards to what their home life is going to look like and what their job is going to look like, what their bills are going to look like. We are glowing up in the financial sense. We are heading into a higher tax bracket. Unfortunately, like I don't want to scare anybody and be like, I don't want any more taxes taken out. But it's the fact that we are moving up a level, right? Like we're getting a bigger paycheck. Or it's one of those things where it's like we are finding that our money, our dollar is stretching a lot farther than it has ever previously gone because we have consistent income coming in constantly. So you know exactly what's coming in, you know exactly what to put away, and it's creating this stability. And it's fair because you have worked for it. You have been through situations with these Five of Cups and Five of Pentacles where it was very painful, where you didn't know where you were going to land per se. And like I said, it's very much similar to pile one, where it was like we didn't know if we were going to get the light was going to come from the end of the tunnel or not. We didn't know if we were going to be getting there, right? But we did. And with the glow up, it's like that situation. We are no longer having this fear of abandonment. This could also be in form of relationships as well, like where it's like you had this fear and loss of abandonment, but now you have the family stability with the Four of Wands. Like you have a good relationship, you have a good family life now, where maybe you didn't before. Maybe we had to walk away, or maybe with the Five of Cups, we were so upset that we lost 3 things in our lives consecutively. It was hard to see that the Two of Cups were still there and still left for you, and it took you time to actually realize that you were going to be able to pick up those cups and still feel grateful for what you have. You know, and with the Five of Pentacles, maybe learning to lean on other people for financial support. Maybe you're really uncomfortable with that. Maybe that was like really hard for you and you did not like that, and I don't see yourself having to necessarily do that. However, I feel like there's a cautionary tale here where it's like just because you're okay doesn't mean you don't. Just because you have a good foundation, you still need to keep up with your family and good communications and be okay with receiving help even when you're not in trouble. Like if somebody gifts you something, be okay with that and say thank you, I appreciate that. You know, I will take that. If it's gonna make my life easier, I am okay with taking that. I think that with pile 2, this group has a very hard time with accepting help and gifts because they think that it's going to be turned on them in some way, and that's not the case here. With the Chariot in reverse, I find the word suspension coming in here, where it's like we are now suspended in a time of peace and equilibrium. Like we're not moving so fast, especially with the Knight of Pentacles following after it. I don't feel like we are rushing and racing anymore, and that is the glow up, because I think that there was a lot of rushing and racing to try to get things done and hoping that they were going to work out, and now I feel like there is it's like the eye of the storm, but I don't want to suggest that a storm is going to be coming after that. It's just, we had the house topple over in the tornado and everything, but then there's that eye of the storm where there's just like this quiet, crisp peace. And I'm focusing more on that aspect of it, where it's just like tunnel vision, ooh, this is what it's supposed to be like. And that is that glow up feeling, right? And once you have slowly worked your way, because it's a slow destination, but once you, and I want to put this way, I guess, so I can look at it a little bit better, because I feel like I need more to say on that Chariot. The Chariot is a Cancerian zodiac, so I'm almost thinking like this nurturing, mothering thing going on too, where maybe we're suspended in the home life and we're feeling with the Four of Wands paired with it, we're feeling like we are finally safe within our environment, right? Like we finally, once again, with the Five of Cups, Five of Pentacles, and that Justice, we are finally coming to homeostasis and finally seeing the fruits of our labor. But yes, I do feel like your glow up is letting go of that fears, realizing exactly what you have, getting this beautiful solid foundation, getting new friends and new types of experiences that you have never experienced before, because you have entered a certain affluidity that you hadn't before. Like status. I think a status with this Queen of Pentacles. Like you went from working at the gas station to, like, even as little as the difference between working at a gas station to working in the schools, or working in the government, or working in, like, military or something. There's a certain prestige thing that's going to be happening that is going to kind of elevate you into a different bracket than you were originally at. It might have a little bit more responsibility, but it's going to help you rub elbows with the right people that you have been wanting to actually explore with and have, like, good friendships with. And I'm not saying networking. Networking is so different from actual friendship. We're talking with the Three of Pentacles, like, actual friendships. I don't see, like, I guess you could say, like, with the Three of Pentacles, it might be more networking, but I'm not gathering that with the Four of Wands in conjunction with that. I feel more strongly that the nurturing part of you, inadvertently, your glow up is going to be finding people that are the same as you and making you feel less anxious and less alone. Because at the beginning, there's just this lot of anxiety and fear of abandonment or losing something that you've already gained. And I think that the friends that are coming in are going to make you feel a lot more composed and make you feel like you're not crazy for thinking the way that you felt, and being okay with where you are right now too, and being okay that things have changed and evolved in a good way, even if things didn't feel that way at first. So that was a long one. I didn't mean to go that long, but I did. So how are we going to get there? How are we going to get there? What's our advice to get to this glow up? So with the Death card, I literally just imagined a wilting, like a plant that has dead flowers on it, and you need to trim it. Okay? And don't be dawdling about that with the Eight of Wands. Also with the Eight of Wands and the Death together, which is interesting because the last few times we've been getting that matchup. But for this spread, I would say intuitively listen, like, think of your messages that are coming to you and act swiftly upon them, whatever epiphanies you have, because it's going to help you remove what is no longer serving you. It's going to help trim the dead off. It's going to help trim that fat off that you just don't even need. It's like all access stuff that's just like, you know, you want to start focusing. So in order to get to that glow up, if you want to get to that kind of elite, what did I say? Like this status, this reputation, this kind of, where your reputation ends up carrying you, like that's the glow up. Your reputation, your status, your money, your finances, your job, your friends, your home life, that equity, right? You want to get to that, you need to cut the dead. And you need to listen to intuitively to what that will be. And to be doing that with kindness and patience with the Strength card. And I feel like that kind of circles back with that Six of Swords, like you're moving away from, so like with the Queen of Wands and the Six of Swords, you might need to move away from impulsivity. You might need to, how do I want to put that? Sometimes I can look at the Queen of Wands and she's a little too impulsive and a little too hot-headed. She might be a little bit somebody who might be a little on the sabotage side. Usually she's not. Usually she's like the super confident, wonderful, filled with creativity type of person. But I feel like with the Six of Swords, and you can see this, she's kind of letting this bird go, you know, letting it go. I feel like it's like letting go of a certain, it could be a person, I don't know, but it could either be a person or the qualities that maybe you possess or have possessed and might have those tendencies where you might come in rushing without actually really analyzing and being strategic about the situation, where you have done really impulsive things just because you felt like it at the time and you wanted to be a little bit more chaotic and rowdy. Letting that go. I think it's like, it's one thing to keep the confidence and to have fun and be spontaneous, but it's another to do it in a rash way or in a way that is actually to your detriment. So really pay attention to that. Or if there's a person in your life that is very much like that, maybe it might be time to let that person go. And I hate to say that, but with the death card being present too, it's one of those, it's like that trajectory, right? There might be some certain habit or person that you will have to let go in order to have your wish fulfillment with your Nine of Cups. And I do think that it's like having hope and clinging on to your wish fulfillment, whatever it is of these goals that you do have in mind of how you see yourself and what that resonates for you. You know, that is going to happen. God and Spirit wants you to know to hold on to your goals because those will manifest. It will happen. It is like that wish come true situation. But you do need to do some really hard work and evaluation and really be intuitive about how that process is going to be. And it may, it might not be easy to peel away those tendencies that either you or some other person has. And until you or somebody else, like if you have to figure that out, right? Let's say it's you that have the bad tendencies. You need to do it quick, right? But if somebody else has those tendencies, you might have to step back, right? So depending on the situation, if it's a person that's outside of your control, you might have to be quick about stepping back, about letting it go. Because I'm doing this because that's what her hands are doing, kind of like, you know, I love you, but I have to fly away. Maybe I'm that bird. Like maybe you have to let me go, right? And if it's yourself that has those tendencies, you need to make peace and let those parts of you manifest into a more positive aspect of this card, which is like, why am I doing these outbursts and this vying for attention? Is it because I'm insecure and I lack confidence in certain areas? How can I embody myself to be more confident? What needs to go? Do I play stupid and ditzy in order to like get attention from certain people, or play dumb because I don't want to be confrontational? Maybe I need to handle this with a little bit more composure and in a more direct manner, right? So let's look at the prairie dog, which was your animal, pile 2. Ooh, funny, I popped right to it. Retreat. Let's see. Prairie dog medicine teaches that strength and inspiration can be found by retreating to the stillness that quiets the mind. The strength of this medicine is also knowing when and how to replenish your life force. These people tend to seek self-empowerment in silence and inactivity, where they can access dreams and visions without intrusions of worldly chaos. When they re-enter the world, they are profound and powerful anchors of calm resolve amid life's storms. Okay, let's see what else. If prairie dog has surfaced in your cards today, it may be a warning that your body's fuel gauge is running low. You might need a day of silence or retreat from regular activities before you become too exhausted to carry on. Have you put your basic needs at the bottom of the to-do list? Burning the candles at both ends may weaken the punch you can normally pack when tackling the tasks at hand. Take a much-needed break before you crash and burn. Prairie Dog teaches you that in order to access gifts of inspiration and renewal, you must be at peace with yourself and rested enough to recognize the blessings being offered. Kind of like that Five of Cups. Like, recognize that you have other blessings coming in. I'm also thinking, like, obviously that's probably why the Death card is coming in. Like I said, we're getting burned out trying to balance all of these people. I think it's people now. You know what I mean? Like, definitely more so people, or the qualities of yourself. But I'm gauging more towards people. Like, you need to, like I said, with the eye of the storm, you finally, the globe is finally having peace and comfort in your environment. And your environment right now is burning you the hell out in certain ways. And it doesn't have to be in an active way. It could be in a subversive way where, you might like the people that you're around. You might like and be okay with the things that are going on. But for some reason, there's just too much. And it's too much to handle. And it's funny, my husband said to me today that even though it's good stress, or even though things are good, it's still stress. Like, stress is still, it can still be, how do I want to word that? Now I'm getting tongue-tied. So, even though you might like what you're doing, or things are happening in a good way, it can still be stressful. It's still stress. I thought that was very interesting that's what the way that he worded it, and this is why it's coming out in the reading, like this retreat and this kind of like, okay, recollect ourselves. Let's see what else comes in though. The dynamics of the situation may have changed because your retreat allows the present challenge to work itself out. There is ample strength available if you quit pushing and go with the flow. That reminds me with the Chariot. Cancer, receptive energy, thank you. Okay, that is what I wanted to say in the very beginning, but I lost it. Learning to be, your glow up is going to learn how to be receptive, as opposed to trying to go out and get things and go out and make it happen. You need to retreat and assess what's going on in your life, cut out stuff without anybody else's approval, just your own intuition. Makes so much more sense. Okay. You, in going with the flow, now is the time to choose the backdoor exit for some rest and relaxation. Oh, so nice. Okay. Yeah. So you understand what your glow up is, I hope, pile 2. Your glow up is you are going to find solace. You're going to have your money. You're going to have your home. You're going to have the environment that you have always wanted and that you've always envisioned. Maybe even better than what you've actually anticipated. And in order to do that, we have to, pile 2, retreat, look at what's not working and cut it off quick, get it done. Do it in a kind and concise manner, of course, in a private, solid, like a silent strength way. Assess what the problems are with this Queen of Pentacles, right? That's Queen of Wands, excuse me. Queen of Wands. What is exactly the issues? Is it a person? Is it you? Is it the habits that this, whatever this Queen of Wands embodies, whatever the negative traits are, apply it to your life, figure out what is wrong with that, and then let that go. Put in the positive qualities of the Queen of Wands. We're going to let go of all the bad habits, obviously, or the people. And then we are going to just enjoy ourselves. We're going to retreat and relax. Like, she's holding the cat. Like, I don't know if you can see because my, I'll see if it can, my lighting's doing its thing. But, yeah, it's like she's almost like cocooned and protected. So yes, pile 2, that was your spread. And now we're going to pile 3. Okay, so for pile 3, you chose the badger. We'll talk about that later at the very end. I really am liking how, oh, I'm going to see if I can like get better in the sun here. I don't know. We'll see. Ugh. My stool here. I don't know. Whatever. I'm not going to worry about it. So we have the hematite. Put that back. That one really, whew. They are all good piles, by the way. I really am enjoying them, but now I'm getting a little too amped up, like, wow. Getting a little tongue-tied. Might need to ground myself a little bit more before we continue. I need to buy more Palo Santo. Okay, so this is going to be what you got to do to get there. So, and then this one was what your glow up is going to be. What is manifesting. Oh yeah, I can't do it this way. I'm doing it this way because that's the way. I'm sorry guys, I'm almost getting better at this angle where you can kind of see the cards. But this one actually has 3 more cards. I might be able to put it, see my badger. I'll put my badger over here. How the badger don't live. Let's see here. I'm gonna age myself with that reference. Oops. I'm gonna put this right, yeah, you can see these, awesome. Even though they're upside down, it's still nice to be able to see them. Just to get a gauge. Okay. Okay, so for pile 3, your glow up is going to be not also, because I want to say that pile 2 is thinking intuitively about their circumstance on a more material plane. This is more psychic spiritual, especially like with the moon present. So your glow up, one of your glow ups is you are going to have better psychic abilities that is going to be able to get you to a new way of life. You're starting something new. Like it's like a new breaking point in your psychic abilities. This is probably people that are naturally like my tarot readers or got like spiritual guidance group. But it's interesting that the psychic abilities is going to, we got multiple things going on here. Many different glow-ups. But for some reason, the psychic is just really, this moon thing right now is really driving home. You're going to be entering a new chapter of your psychic abilities. You may have been working on them, maybe honing in on certain genres or aspects, maybe even reading, practicing, doing certain tests on yourself. Nightmares, dreams, like nightmares as in like or dreams that literally wake you up in the middle of the night. Everything's going to be heightened and elevated. Wherever you were psychically before is going to be through the roof. And that's going to be, and then we're going to be working on the foundation. I know Three of Pentacles and other tarot represents like crafting, networking, or like creating new things with other people in a professional standard. But for this one, it actually is giving me more of like what the Four of Wands would usually give me, which is we are building our foundation. We are building our legacy. We are building our stamina. Not stamina, no. We are building our foundation. That's the best way I can describe it right now. And new material things are coming in as a result of that. With the Emperor and the Mountain, it's almost giving me this discipline thing. It's interesting, they're not really in order. I'm not reading this in order. It doesn't want me to. So the psychic thing is like complete, it's not going to be fluid. Psychic thing, you're elevating psychically. Boom, that's like, that's the end of that part of it. Boom, right here. And it might be multiple things, but we are getting our discipline. We've figured our stuff out. We are now on top of it. That's part of our glow up. We can make decisive decisions that are going to last and create a really solid foundation that's going to materialize, that's going to prove and show results. The proof is in the pudding. I lead by example. That's that. If you hear my stomach on the camera, I apologize. Here, and you can't see, but these three right here, overcoming any past betrayals and transmuting that into something creative. Keeping the dark thoughts at bay. We now have control over it. We have control over our thoughts or our fears of our betrayals. We're literally transmuting that into something creative, into something of a lasting foundation in a positive direction, creating money out of. So there's no such thing. Okay, so you make what's the saying? What is the saying? You see opportunity in everything. That is your glow up, even in misfortune. So what may seem like misfortune, you look at the pieces and you optimize on it. You capitalize on it. There's no such thing as a bad situation when you can make something, when you look at it in the right way. You have to look at it in the right angle. And psychically, almost like a psychic sense of knowing that. I don't know. It's this Fool card. It's like we're starting a new journey of a new job, of something new financially happening that is also going to give yourself very, it's going to be very satisfying. It's going to be giving you a lot of success in the home life. You are going to be having a home life that's filled with love and security and not in like a, in a financial sense. We are starting a new project and it's solid. Everything, it's solid. Everything's solid. Everything's decided upon. This one really is pulling me in every direction. The glow up is we're coming up fresh as a daisy. That was another saying, like when I look at the Fool card. We have our confidence back. That's what I'm hearing. We have our confidence back in our psychic abilities. We have our confidence back. We are brand new now. We are acting brand new, but we actually have the right to. We have the weight of it. We have the proof of it that we get to. We deserve to act brand new because we are. We are the light holding back the darkness. That's what I'm getting with this seven of wands with this 9 of swords in reverse. So like we're winning. Our glow up is our ability to conquer any sort of negativity that is happening in our lives and transmuting that into creative endeavors, into jobs, into money, into happiness and love in our home. Like with this one, it's specifically love. Like I just feel like we have met, pile 3 has met the partner that they're going to marry. They're going to be creating a family, or they have a family that is already so invested in love, it's only going to be amplified. If there has been a tumultuous home situation, it has been rectified and healed. And now we have a cohesive, wonderful family unit. This just feels more powerful, even though I'm not able to articulate it as much as I want to. With the moon and the spider, 5, 6, 7, 8, 8 of Pentacles. It feels very, like I can't help to say it, but it feels very witchy. But in the sense of spiritual, like it just feels very occult, and I don't want to scare anybody away from that. I'm just saying, like, there's certain things that it's like beyond the veil. It's like levels to this. It's like, and this could even be applied in a Christian sense. Maybe you guys got chosen in a certain group to lead a higher level of faith in like the church or something. Like I know that in tarot reading and stuff like that, we talk more about like witches and occult and like paganism, and that does apply. But I also wanted to like put in that demographic as well. Like it doesn't have to be, like it could be, like there is secrets in occultism, in a sense, of the church where certain knowledge is privy to only certain people, or certain people are anointed the ability because they understand the content a lot more, or they have a certain spiritual gift that the church has recognized, that they want to elevate them into a higher position. I see that for this. And it's the same thing, like maybe if you are in the more occult pagan spiritualism, or just a whole like mixed mutt of a spiritual path, you might stumble across something that ignites a whole series of which you get elevated to a higher status, in the sense of like your psychic ability, your ability to connect with people, and to help people. That's like, that is your glow up. That's wonderful. That is your glow up. Your glow up is you're starting something new. We are getting a higher psychic ability. We have let go of the like, you are a warrior. That is your glow up. Your glow up is like you are now in control of your entire life, because you have given it to a higher power. Whatever that power is, that's the glow up. Okay, I finally got there. That's wonderful. Thank you. I got there. Oh, wow. Okay. Awesome. Okay, how do we get there though? How do we get there? Let's find out. Oh my goodness. It is asking it's asking you to do it all. You are literally going through a spiritual you are going through an everything transformation. God is asking you to do it all. Spirit is asking you to do it all. Do it all. Be it all. Figure it out. So for this, it's almost like we're purifying ourselves, releasing, healing, emotionally unleashing, purifying. That's what I'm getting from this. Giving everything of yourself, pouring it over, pouring that cup over. A sort of releasing of, what do they call it? I don't want to say submitting. It's a different word than that. Surrendering. Emotionally surrendering. And it's interesting because it's like we're emotionally surrendering, we're purifying, but don't get it twisted, you still have to be strategic. That's why, and then you also have to watch your health. You have to be pure about purity. You have to be purified. You have to be sound and strategic in your mind. You have to be quick and witty and sharp. You have to know all the chess moves of everybody around you and of yourself and how you move. They're asking you to be in charge of your body and your health. Treat it like a temple. The Son of Pentacles and the Daughter of Pentacles they don't want you to just burn out. They want you to keep the momentum and that discipline and keep moving, even if it's slow, because it is a lot that they're asking of you for pile 3. And then we also have the Death card with the 6 of Wands. How do I even begin to process that? That is a lot. That is a lot that they want you to do to get to where you need to be, or your glow up. But then again, that glow up is a really big glow up that's asking a lot of you too. They literally want you to go through a death. They are asking you to literally light the fire, light your past self on fire, feels like. Purify yourself, and like a phoenix, we're going to rise up from the ashes and we're going to start fresh. We're going to start taking all the components that make us great in the arena of which we are asking to glow up in, or not asking to glow. See, this is the funny part. You're not even asking to glow up in it. This is just what your glow up is going to be. You're not even really asking for it. This is what's going to be anointed to you if you do all of this. I love, and what's more spiritual than coming from this to this? Complete transformation. I hate using transformation for death because everybody says that, oh, it's transformation. But, I mean, tell me what other word should I use for that? That is completely metamorphosis. That's metamorphic. That is, you went from skeleton to butterfly. A dead bird to a bright blue butterfly. That is completely full circle. We went full circle, it feels like. A full rebirth. Want to think of more about that Son of Pentacles and Daughter of Pentacles. I don't think this is going to be without some sort of, obviously, some, because we have health with temperance, we have the balance. Like I said, it's interesting, we got the fire and water here. We have the water at the very beginning of this stage. So I would say that it's not going to be just about the spiritual aspect. Obviously, I did touch upon the family home. But what is more spiritual than the family? The family is what keeps us all together. That is our safe environment, and that is what is going to be our future and our legacy. And I just feel like it all comes together. But I would also state with the Son of Pentacles and the Daughter of Pentacles, with the health aspect of temperance, there is a sort of, I have to have my body prepped for this spiritual awakening too. So you might want to go through a certain cleansing, whatever that might entail, you'll know. But the things that come to my mind is like whatever shocks the body. So like going to a sauna, then doing the cold plunge. Another thing that would come to mind is like learning to better supplements, red light, literally like healthy body, healthy, like interesting, like it's just like a strategic mind. It's like very crafty, and I know that that can be put in a negative connotation, but this to me is in a more of a positive connotation where you are using this into your advantage, right? But not in a mean, deceptive, manipulative way, but we are assessing the situation for what it is, and we are going to make the best out of it. And we are going to leapfrog, we're going to avoid the landmines, we're going to see ahead of time, avoid the landmines so we can get to this end, right? So they want you to be sharp, they want you to be knowledgeable, they want you to be a little bit ruthless. It might seem to be a little bit ruthless, but it's not in the way that the movies or how we want to interpret it. I mean, I know that, you know, you think of it as a deceitful, deceptive card, but for this, it's just used in order. It's like, how can you know how to properly sail your ship and what you need to do with the sails if you don't pay attention to the weather? That's the vibe. That's what it's trying to say. It's like you do need these skills in order to advance in your positions, because it's foolish to do otherwise. You're going to use common sense. You should use common sense. You should use wit. You should be able to critically think. That just like popped right out. So keep your mind sharp. Keep your body healthy. And I think in all of this, like, it is going to show in a physical way as well. But this is a whole transformation. And it's just, whew, wow. Let's see what the Badger has to say in all this. It'll be interesting to see how that connects, because this is just like throwing me for a spin. I will have to say it's been that is funny, because I literally just said you might have to be a little bit ruthless. Badger is aggressiveness. Okay. Badger is vicious and attacks with powerful aggression. Badger is quick to anger and quicker to pounce. The power of Badger's medicine is aggressiveness and the willingness to fight for what it wants. Badger is the medicine of many powerful medicine women. For Badger is also the keeper of the medicine roots. Badger sees all the roots of Mother Earth's healing herbs hanging in its burrow home. These roots are key to aggressive healing. Roots can ground negative energy into the earth by allowing illness to pass through a body into the ground as neutral energy. Kind of like that cup. Badger medicine people are quick to act in a crisis, and they do not panic. You are quick to express your feelings, and you do not care what the consequences are. Badger people oftentimes insist on carrying the ball for the touchdown. This attitude, however, does not endear them to their teammates. Badger medicine may also point to the aggressive healer who will have the courage to use unconventional means to exact a cure. Like the mother who sits for days nursing a child with high fever, Badger is willing to persist. Let's see. You can be sure that people with Badger medicine will be aggressive enough to make it to the tops of their chosen fields because they do not give up. They are also the finest healers because they will use any and all methods to ensure healing and will not give up on the critically ill. A Badger person is often the boss and one that everyone fears. That same boss will surely keep the company afloat, any company afloat, Badger gets the job accomplished. Badger's certainty is a source of strength. If Badger pushed its way into your cards today, it may be telling you that you have been too meek in trying to reach some goal. Badger asks you how long you are willing to sit and wait for the world to deliver your silver spoon. In this medicine, the key is to become aggressive enough to do something about your present state of affairs. Badger is teaching you to get angry in a creative way. I can't make it up. Oh my God. Angry in a creative way. Oh my gosh. And say, I won't take it anymore. You must follow up by keeping your eye on the goal. Honor the healing process as you express those inner feelings. Be aggressive, but don't cut others to ribbons on the way. Okay. Be aggressive, but don't cut others to ribbons on the way. That is too much aggression. Use your anger to stop your lollying around so that your doldrums of apathy are a thing of the past. Badger is a powerful medicine when properly used for self-improvement. Remember that Badger may be signaling a time when you can use your healing abilities to push ahead in life. Heal yourself by aggressively removing the barriers that don't grow. Cut away the dead wood and use Badger's aggression to seek new levels of expression. Use Badger's medicine roots to keep grounded and centered in the process. I love it. Oh my God. That gave me chills. Pile 3. Holy crap. All right. Well, I got to get ready for the day. I know that much. I still got a plethora of things to do. But pile 3 and all the piles, you have a good day, and thank you for sticking around.